Hey, you guys, Trisha Turner here. I'm a little bit late, but anyone that knows me knows that's not unusual. I tend to pack too many things into the day. I'm here with my friend Andre, and we are both with EXP, and I'm super happy to have him here today. He has quite a story to tell about real estate. I can't wait to hear all of it. I don't even know all of it. I know that he's been in real estate longer than I have, which is a really long time, and that he is living his best life now. So Andre, welcome.
Thanks, Trisha. Glad to be here.
Super glad that you're here. So let's kind of give everybody a little bit of a backstory. Like, let's tell them where you are in the world, how long you've been in real estate, and where you began your real estate career, like what company.
Okay. I've been in real estate 30 years this year. I started off when I was 22, so it tells you I'm 52. My business, 19 of those years were in upstate New York, up by the Canadian-Vermont border. My first year, I sold 7 houses. The second year, maybe 10 or 12. Took me 7 years to get to 40 units a year working by myself. But at the same time I was doing that, selling real estate, really full time, I also worked at a pharmaceutical plant, kind of the best job in my local town, blue collar job, from 4 p.m. to midnight, Monday through Friday for 4 or 5 years. And then the other 4 or 5 years, 9 total. I worked on a flex shift, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday from noon to midnight. So I was young, I was in my 20s. So worked on that job until I got my real estate business going. And in '98, we got into a coaching program, started paying somebody some money to help us grow a team, and we did really well. I became partners with my broker, and I left the pharmaceutical plant in 2000. And started doing some of what my coach told me to do, hire an admin, hire a buyer agent, and then started, went from 40 to 79, 109, 121, 150, and continued growing our real estate business up there in New York, and did that for many years. At one point, 2009, that coaching company offered me a position to work with them in their coaching department. So it was my chance to get out of the cold weather and high taxes of New York and move south. So my wife and I and kids took advantage of that, moved to Atlanta, Georgia area, 2009. That coaching company had like 100 members in their high level program, paying 20, 30 grand a year. And we helped them grow to about 498 before I left. In November 2018, I think it was, because I didn't have my license. I had to get my license again because I was coaching for 9 years. Yeah, I was coaching for 9 years, so I didn't need my license. Didn't plan on getting back into real estate. I was planning on retiring there, but when I saw the EXP business model, I had never seen anything like it. And the good Lord was just telling me from some other changes that it was time for me to start working on my own business again instead of someone else's. And no one actually called me about EXP, Trisha. I'm kind of a little I don't want to say annoyed, but embarrassed. No one called me. I mean,
You were off the radar, huh?
Yeah. So I actually when I decided to get back into selling real estate, I called. I asked my wife who she knew in real estate that had a good team, and love God and love people more than money, and might be a good fit for me to work with. So I called him, and he had just joined EXP.
Who is that?
So he sent me to Levi McDonald.
Oh, cool.
In Atlanta. He's my sponsor.
Okay.
Yeah, he showed me the video and looked at it, met with them, and then went and got my real estate license. Right?
You went backwards. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. And crazy thing is when I went back to get my real estate license, I'm starting all over again. Basically, I hadn't sold anything in Georgia. I've been coaching for 9 years, so kind of started over again at 49 and decided, well, it's going to take me a minute to get some money rolling in because I was on a salary on the coaching job. So I actually called a friend, and he offered me a position to be his ISA, inside sales agent, calling some leads for a while until I can get my income up. So started working for them. He was in another state actually, but I'm just calling for leads, making a salary. And in the meantime, on the weekends, evenings, I'm calling, our senior business partners, Jake Kinder, Michael Reese, and Al Stasik, and calling them, putting calls together to answer questions, and did that so much that they actually offered me a position to work with them. So they gave me about a $10,000 raise and from what I was doing, and it was good alignment to be working with them, and worked with them for a year and a half. And the whole plan was to work with them, helping them setting up appointments until I was making, at least 10 grand a month in revenue share, and got to that point in, I think, November last year, and gave them notice, say, hey, I'm going to cut my hours from 40 hours to 20, because I was working for them 40 hours a week as I was, doing this. And then come February or January 15th, I think, they still hadn't replaced me yet. So I gave them another 2 weeks notice. The guys, it's been 3 months. I need to go. I have enough business now. I can't keep doing both.
Yeah, I can do it.
And they found a good replacement. I trained him, and then he's doing great. And as of February 1st, now I'm working for myself with EXP. So I share all that story to encourage anybody out there just getting into real estate or doing both. Maybe they're working 40 hours a week in real estate and want to get other things going with the revenue share and say, hey, I don't have time. It's just a matter of just scheduling things and putting an effort into it. And you're working for yourself again, right? So it can certainly happen.
So when you were originally selling real estate, were you just with one company during that time that you were selling real estate?
My very first year, I was with Century 21 for a year. I drove like 40 miles one way to get to the office.
Wow.
And then the few deals that I did do in my town, we were in a little town. My graduating class in my school was 40.
Oh my gosh.
So
that's crazy.
The few deals that we did, the broker of that little company asked me to, hey, come work for him, and that was like 7 miles away from my house compared to 40. And so I took him up on it, and it was an independent. So we were independent for a lot of years. Then we joined Better Homes and Gardens for several years. But then we got into that coaching company, and that gave us more help to sell houses and build a business more than the franchise did. So then we went back independent. And then when we got going in the coaching and things were working, then my broker and I became partners, and I opened up a small office in the city, our big city of 18,000, I think. And we each had a couple little teams. Like we each had a couple admin and no more than 2 to 4 buyer agents at any given time. But together we were selling about 300 units a year.
So don't you think, and I can take it from your story alone, that when you work at most big box companies, you're only going to grow and do so much business? It's when you got involved with coaches that you actually saw your business blow up.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about getting aligned with people that are doing more business than you, and you want to be where they're at.
Yep. And it's like oftentimes there's so many different coaches in the world, and so I always tell everybody, you got to.
What I love about EXP,
we got a delay.
What I love about EXP, EXP has 50, I heard now 60 hours a week of training now, that we can all get plugged into. But because of, the group that we're plugged in with, we have access to Jay Kinder, Michael Reese, and the National Association of Expert Advisors, and all the stuff that those guys are doing on an ongoing weekly basis. 3 times a week we have free training in our private Facebook page. So, man, if we had EXP obviously it was different 30 years ago, but even 5 years ago, I only get plugged in it's been 2 years. It's been 2 years as of February. Man, things would be different. I'm just excited for my team members that are coming to joining my team, and I got agents in I think 27 states, 4 provinces of Canada, a couple in India and Mexico already from some of my team members. And I'm just having a ball. I'm just having fun helping these guys, coaching them, helping them build their businesses. And it's been a blast.
For me, my son is 23 and he's just now getting into real estate with us, and he's training as an ISA and while he's getting his license. And so there's a lot going on. And I tell him, Man, I wish that there would have been something like what we have when I was 23 years old. Because, oh my gosh, what a difference life would have been like. And then even prior to meeting Jay and Mike, I had my own independent company. And prior to that, I was with Keller Williams and Remax and all those big box companies. But there was you're going to grow only to a certain point. There's a ceiling there, because in those big box companies, the people that are killing it, they're only doing like 20 or 25 houses a year. It's like, that's not killing it. Not when you get around people that are in our group. It's like, that's nothing, and it is good. It's a good income for people that are doing that. And I applaud all those people. But for the growers and those like-minded people, you're like, holy crap, they're doing 500. They're doing 1,000. Veronica's going to do 1,400 this year. It's like, well, we got to level up.
Yeah, exactly.
And it makes a difference.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference. It's the people that you surround yourself with are the ones that you're going to be like, right? And that could be good or bad. And in our group, it's all good because they're all entrepreneurial, business-minded, God-loving people that, like Jay says, it's one big fire. We all work together, right?
We do. And so for you, when you got your real estate license again, then did you actually start selling homes again?
Yeah, I've sold just a handful I'm not advertising. I'm not going after the business. It's just the deals that I've done are people from my church. My wife and I are marriage mentors, or were for our church, and a couple that we helped that were getting married, and we walked them through all that. They asked me to help them buy their first house, so that was a treat. So I'm just dealing with family and people from church. I've done that, been there, selling the hundreds of homes a year. I'm having a blast helping my team members who want to do that. They're at 20 and they want to go to 50, or they're at 50 and want to go to 100, or they're at 200 and want to go to 3 or 4, or they're brand new and they just want to get to 10. It doesn't matter. We've been there, done that, and we can help them. We have the tools and systems in place, and obviously the expertise to help them do that.
So how long?
And we don't have
EXP right now.
Yeah, and we don't have to charge them anything either, right? Because we're all aligned. So that's a big deal. We used to charge 20, 30 grand a year for coaching in that program I was in. And now, it's all free. But to answer your question, February, it was sometime in January. My anniversary date is February 1st, 2019. So 2 years and a few months.
So we met at the Kentucky Derby. Wasn't that when for the mastermind? I think that's
actually my first mastermind was in Key West.
Really? Okay, so I was thinking you were in Kentucky with us.
No, I didn't make it to Kentucky. That was before. That was ahead of time. I went to Key West in whenever that was, April, May, or whatever.
Yeah. And so since your time with EXP, which isn't a long time, how many people would you say you're involved with? What's your team like? Walk us through your team.
Well, I have my well chart on the wall over here. My first year, I attracted 13 individual agents. I had 5 in 7 months and 2 left. So I only really had 3 in 7 months. So you can't call me recruiter of the year. Okay. And I had only made $508 in 7 months because it takes time. But at the end of the first year, I had 13 personal and 37 total and made about 9 grand. Still, didn't set. But remember, I'm working 40 hours a week for the guys. So that was part-time, right?
Yeah. And
then the second year, I went from 13 to 35 personal and 281 total. All right. So that was from February to February. And what's really exciting.
Those personal ones, is that a team, or is those just individual agents that you're collaborating with?
Yeah, just individual agents. There's a handful, 3 or 4 in Georgia, and the rest are scattered around the country.
Okay.
And in Canada. I got a good team in Canada. And the exciting thing is, it takes a little bit of time to get rolling. For me, because I was part-time, really. But the exciting thing, since February of this year, 3.5 months ago, I've grown from 281. Yesterday was 415.
Okay, so what do you think is contributing to such growth like that? That's pretty freaking impressive.
It's just time and consistency and really good team members. I got some great rock star team members all over, 3 or 4 or 5 really good ones that are working hard, selling houses and sharing the opportunity. And I got Pierre and Rick in Ontario.
I know them.
Yeah, you know those guys. So, I mean, more than 200 of my group is in Canada with those guys.
And they're growing like crazy in Canada.
Yeah, Canada's where the States were, what, 4 or 5 years ago. So it's just beginning there. I mean, really, I think the numbers I heard last, don't quote me, but I think it was like 28, was it 23 or 2,800? I don't remember, but it was somewhere between 23 and 2,800 a couple of weeks ago. And that's nothing, right? When Jay and Al got plugged in 3.5 years ago now, there was what, 5,000-6,000 agents in the company
total.
Yeah, and they have over 5,000 or 6,000 agents on their team now.
So I'm curious, you were doing coaching, you were involved in the coaching company, you really weren't doing real estate sales per se. What was it that you saw that would make you be like, I got to be part of this?
Yeah, that's a great question. For me, the number one thing was the revenue share, right? The alignment of being able to work and help other agents grow and build their businesses and give them everything you have and never have to charge them a dime, but get paid a little piece of the residual income, not from them, but from the company. It's just a brilliant business model, right? And, we copied the KW, payout model, but instead of getting paid on profit, which sometimes we all know as owners, sometimes there is none. We get paid on revenue off the top, right? So it's a brilliant model. So when I saw that, it's like, wow, I can keep doing what I've been doing, selling a few houses here and there, because I was referring out deals and I could do those few myself, but then help my team members build their businesses to anywhere as they want to, never charge them anything, but get a little piece and start building a global network. I assume we could get to all 50 states. I mean, I'm on 27 or 8 right now, so we'll get there. But I never was thinking about Mexico or India or Australia, and we're going to be there. We're in some of those countries, and I already have people talking to other people in those countries now. So I'm just excited. We're just getting started. I mean, at the growth rate right now, I'm growing by, on the last 3 months, the lowest has been about 40 and the highest was 51 per month. So, if we just keep growing like we are, I mean, we're doubling. We'll be more than doubling every year.
So I got involved in October of 2018, and then the shareholders conference, I think it was in Louisiana even that year, was like right after that. I think it was in November. And so I was new to the whole organization, and I was with Jay and Mike, and we were at this table, and there was just a small group of us at that time. There was only a few of us in the group. And so I was watching the slides. I went by myself even. I just met them all there. And we were watching the slides that they were putting up, and they put up a slide and it said 2020 world domination. And I thought, holy crap, I want to be part of that. But we really didn't understand the magnitude of that. And at that time, we weren't in all 50 states and we weren't in other countries. And it's like, and at that time, there was 14,000 agents. Now, when you look at it, it's like, man, we're not messing around. Global domination, like totally, you see it happening. Every single month, there's more stuff being released, more countries.
Yeah, we're in what? I think last I heard, we're at 54,000 agents total.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
During the pandemic, we opened up Mexico, Portugal, France, India, and South Africa. And then this year so far, I'm looking at my cheat sheet down here: Puerto Rico, Brazil, Italy, Hong Kong, Colombia, Spain just opened up. Israel is coming soon. And Panama, England, and Japan. Not England, Germany. We already have the UK. We already have UK and Australia.
Yeah. But for me, like, here's the thing, like I had my own independent brokerage and my model was different than a lot of people's. I just always believed in giving back to the agents. That's always been my mantra, because I was a single mom for a long time and nobody was ever there to help me. And nobody was like, hey, let me help you. It was always the big box companies just kind of keeping their doors closed, and they're going to give you a little bit of advice, but never anything enough to really make you excel. And so I always was looking out for the underdog. And so I always want to just give. And I give way too much. And I know that. But with EXP, that was one of the attractions to me. It was like, we can have all these people together that are like way smarter than I am, doing way more business, but just pouring in. I can go reach out to any of them and say, how'd you do this? Who'd you hire first? Where am I at in this life cycle of the business model? And when you're on your own or one of these other big box companies, there is no collaboration like that, period. Has that been your
absolutely. We can reach out to anybody, and it doesn't have to be someone specifically right in your network. If they're an EXP, they're just going to help you. That's the kind of attitude that I found. But it's really cool, especially when it comes to like referrals and stuff. I got a call today or a text today from a guy in Ontario. I shared this with him a year ago. He thought it was great, but just wasn't good timing. He actually ended up joining a different company. But he called me back. I've been staying in touch, and he texted me back last week, and we had another meeting, and he said, well, I got to wait until September, but I'm coming to join you because things have changed, and he's really thinking about a retirement now and wants to build a retirement for himself after being in business for 20 plus years. So he's going to be joining me, but he texted me, said, hey, and this is a guy that's been in RE/MAX, I don't know how many years. He said, hey, who do you have in Calgary, Alberta? I got a listing referral. So I have every single one of my team members on my phone so I can quickly look. And the closest I had personally was Edmonton. And so that was like 2-3 hours away. So I just went into the Honey Badgers and put in there, hey, who in our private Facebook page, who's in Edmonton? And within 5 minutes, I had somebody reach out, and it happens to be a guy that joined EXP he said in January. And I remember talking to him actually about a year or so ago, because he was in that coaching program and we never really connected, but I tried. He ended up getting connected with Jay and stuff. But he was the number one team in the number one RE/MAX, he said, in the world. But wow. even if it was only in Canada, still. Sure. And that's who's we're part of, right? So what a great referral that I can give to my going to be a new business partner. Then, the number one RE/MAX from 30 years that's been, in the business that long, and they just happen to both be RE/MAX. So I just thought that was cool. And of course, cool. They're all going to be in EXP. I keep saying, hey, eventually they're all coming. Not 100%. We don't need or want 100%. We just want all the entrepreneurial, open-minded, happy, positive people that love what they do in business. Yeah, exactly.
You know what I look at? Like, I was having a conversation the other day with somebody, and it's like some of these big box companies, they're, doing 70-30 splits, 60-40 splits. And it's like, what are you really getting? Like, have you went to your broker and asked for them to give you like a line item list of where is the value in that? Because that's a substantial amount of money every year. You need to be with us where you're just on an 80-20 split, and you have the option of actually getting it all back in stock if you hustle. And we'll help you hustle. That's what we do. That's the goal. That's always the goal.
Yeah. So I tell people, it's an 80-20, but it's really, it can be 80 to 100, because if you're a decent producer, like most of us, most of the people that we know, and if you're not yet, if you hang around us and get plugged into all the free coaching and training and come to some live events and get connected, you will be one of the high producers, and you'll get your 16 grand back in stocks, right?
Yes.
I mean, I wish I would have got plugged in long time ago and had a lot of stocks built up from receiving that back. But I have some friends that are millionaires now in EXP because of the stock, because they were in several years ago. But it's just getting started. I mean, we're at 54,000 agents. What's going to happen when we're at 100,000 agents and 200,000 and 300,000 agents?
And that's coming.
Absolutely.
On the stock, I want to talk to you about the stock, because here in Houston, it's a very competitive market. And so everyone's trying to bad talk about the stock right now because it's down. And I think it's funny, but let's talk about that stock for a minute. What are your thoughts on the stock? Why is the stock down? Are you bailing out? Are you selling? Are you buying more? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm not a stock guy for 50 years. Actually, I've been with the same stock guy since when I got married at 21. And he just said, give me your money, I'll invest it, and I'll make you money. And we just consistently continued giving them money every single month to put for our kids' college education. And we did it and did it and did it. And with the grace of God, he's done well. He's got a good return, and we've been able to pay for both our kids' college with that. But the funny, I tell you that because when I joined EXP, I called him up because I don't even know how, I haven't gone on and like bought it myself. I just call him up. I don't have time to mess with it. So, and say, hey, buy me $5,000 or $10,000 of this EXPI stock. And he's like, okay. And he didn't know nothing about it. So he bought it a couple of times, several times. And when I called him the third or fourth time and I asked him, have you been keeping an eye on that stock? And he's like, not really, because I'm just telling him to buy it, right? He's doing his own thing, right? And then the next time I talked to him, he's like, I've been keeping an eye on that, and I bought some. So I've not sold a penny. I'm not going to sell any. I don't really know exactly why it's going up and down. I know it's grown like crazy, right? Investors were coming in and it just grows like crazy, but it goes up and down like everything. All I understand over the 40 years I've been investing with this guy is just keep buying it consistently. And I don't care what the price is. I do obviously try to buy it on the downside when it's coming lower that day. But it's just being consistent. It's just like everything else, consistent calling your leads for your physicals and expireds, being consistent calling, people for your agent attraction, being consistent on, working on your marriage. I mean, it's just consistency in everything. And that's kind of the way I look at it.
My thing, I'm teaching in the EXP world tomorrow on agent attraction thing. And my whole belief, not my whole belief, but one of the biggest things for me is, when Amazon first started a million years ago, no one really knew anything about it. It was an online bookstore. Everyone was like, it's kind of laughable, and no one really talked about it. And then all of a sudden it seemed like an overnight explosion. Amazon was involved in everything, and the stock was soaring and continues to. And my thoughts are, when you kind of watch the path of what Amazon has done and watch what we're doing, and the people that are like Grant Cardone, he's now part of EXP. It's like when you see those kind of big players becoming part of something, they're doing that for a reason. They see the future, they see the trajectory. And like I tell people, what if we're right and we believe that this company is going to grow and take over? We're going to be sitting real pretty in 5 to 10 years from now, and our kids are going to be, and everybody that's involved with us. And so my belief is, why would you not? Like, I go to Lakewood Church, and so Joel Osteen always says, give us a year, we'll change your life. And that's kind of my belief with EXP. It's like, go with us for a year. I promise you we'll change your life. And if not, if you find that it's not for you, then just leave. What have you got to lose? But I really believe, I know everyone that we're involved with and that you're involved with, it's life-changing, and it has been.
Yeah, absolutely. We're it sounds like a cliche, but we absolutely are changing people's lives. Mm-hmm. I mean, I love the story. A friend of mine's who joined, it was a son of my friend, but he was 25 years old, third year in real estate, sold 20 units. That's pretty good for your third year. Yeah. Joined EXP, got involved, came to a Las Vegas event when we had it there a year and a half ago, whatever. Got plugged into the coaching and training and went from 20 to 60 deals his first 12 months with EXP. And I think at that time had almost $150,000 in stock, and he was 25.
Crazy.
Right? If that's not, and that's his first year, what's going to happen year 2 through 10 or 20 since he's, in his 20s? How, you can't tell me if that's not changing lives. I don't know what is.
Right. And what if EXP stock does what Amazon has done, or Facebook, any of the companies that have just went insane? What if? Because when you look at all these countries that are now part of this, and all the big players that are part of our group that are just continuing to grow and reach out to people, and we reach out to people, it's because we don't reach out to everybody, because some people aren't a good fit. But the people that we think that are good, we want to be around more people like that, because that's the hardest thing I feel is when you're in like a local market here, you don't get along with everybody. Everyone's not the same fit. And then a lot of people are not like-minded. And so when you find the people that you're just attracted to them. You're like, I got to go hang out with these people. Right. And that's what we have in our group, Yeah,
you get to hang out with your friends, and you get to work with your friends. And I mean, when we're at, when we're at other companies, and you have other agents around you, you become friends, but do you give them everything you got? Do you give them your listing presentations, your buyer presentations? Do you tell them, hey, I just did this today and I just found this jackpot? Do you go and tell them all? No, you kind of, you do your own thing. and you help each other out a little bit. But our groups, we give absolutely 100% of everything that we have to anyone who wants it within EXP, because we're all one big family. And as I help you in Texas and I'm in Georgia, we're all going to win together. When the stocks continue to grow, we all win together.
We do. Are you going to, they our shareholders, or not the shareholders, but the annual conference is going to be live. Are you going to be there in Vegas this year?
I haven't missed one yet.
So are you going to be in Dallas in August?
Yes, ma'am. I'll be in Dallas. We just got back from Cabo St. Lucas about a month ago. That was awesome. Yep. And then Brent asked me to speak in Arizona. So I said, sure. So I went to Arizona, and next one will be Dallas. Then we're going, I booked the flights to St. Thomas, Virgin Islands in September for our NAEA boot camp. So I'm already set for that one. And then Vegas. And you know what? It's so cool when we go and we do these things together, because it's our chance to get around each other and learn. People think, what do y'all do the whole time? Like, we're learning constantly. Somebody's presenting, somebody's teaching, because you can never know everything. You should always be learning every day. No, absolutely. If you're not growing, you're dying, right? That's exactly right. And besides learning at the, from everyone up on stage who's speaking, which is awesome. It's the dinners, it's the dinners afterwards. I hung out. We went with Vincent Koo from Big Broker from New York City. We went to dinner with him a couple of times. My group did. And you just become closer friends with people, and hanging out with you and other people at dinner and having a beer afterwards or hanging out at the pool. Yep. We talk business, we talk family, we talk whatever, and it's all about relationships. Isn't that what real estate is all about? That's what life's all about, is all the relationships, right? And the more events that you go to and the more new people that you connect with, more relationships are born, and those are life, lasting. I look at this as like one of the biggest opportunities ever. Like for my son, he's 23 years old. He was a baseball player, and then basically you can only do baseball so far. You're either going to make it to the major leagues or you're not, and then you got to do something else. And so we had a baseball park, and still have it. But during all of this, I'm like, I need help in the real estate company. You see that we need help in here, but I didn't push him. I had to wait till he actually was ready, and he is now. And I told him, there's such an opportunity with you at EXP, because you're 23, and a lot of people at your age are hungry. They're hustlers. So I said, why don't we just develop this young hustlers division? You get your license, you can head the division, you get out there and find other young hustlers like you, and you build your own like young hustler team, and y'all freaking take over. Because he doesn't want to work in the suburbs where we are. He wants to be in town and hang out with his crew, Right. But it's that kind of an opportunity. He wouldn't have that if he was at Remax or Keller Williams. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. It is. Yeah. I wish both my kids are mechanical engineers, and I don't think have any interest in sales at all. But my youngest, actually, he understands. We told him about the revenue share, the tens of thousands a month that we can create, that it's willable. Yeah. But you have to have your real estate license. So I know he's already planning on getting his license at some point. So he'll be able to take advantage of the willable, revenue share that we can pass on to our family. How great is that? You're not only working for you and your family, you're working for your legacy of your kids and your grandkids. And we know people that are doing that now, and that's, our plan as well to help them. And then, at some point there's a pretty good size abundance, and you're able to just give more back to the, give it back to not-for-profits and back to people who need it more than us. I love that. I'm so glad that you're here sharing this with me. So looking ahead as we close out here, what's the future for you look like, Andre? What is your focus? What's your goals? What are you hoping to get to by the end of this year and next? My goal at the beginning of the year was to hit 500 by the end of this year, but we should hit that within 2 months. So my new goal is about 800 partners by the end of this year. And if things continue, should be 16, could be 2,000 by the year after. but it's more importantly is the relationships that we're going to create with these people and the lives that we're going to change. So I just continue putting all the energy into anyone who wants to help. I'm just reaching out to my team all the time, and anyone and everyone that has ever called me, unless I'm at church, I'm at dinner with my family, or I'm on my motorcycle and can't pick up, I'm answering the phone and helping them.
Yeah.
And I think they appreciate that. And that's what you do for your business partners. They're family, really. And I'm proud of them. They're doing an awesome job, and I'm excited to just help them grow, because
I love that.
We've been in real estate, you and I, for long enough. We've done well over the years. Everything we have is pretty much paid off, and kids' college is paid off, and the rest is going to be, giving back and just helping the people, the younger people. And it doesn't have to be the younger people. It could be the older people that haven't done as well, that we've been able to help change their retirement and get them set up, for their future.
Yes. And, the real estate industry is a hard industry, and it's not getting easier. We've got a lot of disruption coming at us. And so for me and for my family and my agents and everyone that we work with, I think it's like a safety net, because there's strength in numbers, and so we're all together for the common cause of helping the agents live a better life. Everyone should live an abundant life, period.
Yeah, absolutely. God's got a plan for us all. And if we're listening to him and we're putting the time and effort in to make ourselves and everybody around us better, we all win in the end.
We do. Hey, Andre, let everybody know how they can find you if they want to learn more about you or have a conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. You can private message me here on Facebook. Just call me. My cell or text is 518-569-7173. Andre LaFountain at gmail.com. But Facebook or Twitter, Instagram, they can reach out to me.
I'm so glad that you did this with me today. I've been watching you just continue to grow and grow and grow in the organization. I'm like, we got to get you on here and hear all about this, because you've been in real estate forever. Super cool. Who knew you'd be doing this, right?
I'm sorry?
Who knew you'd be doing this? Who knew your real estate career would transform the way it has? Yeah,
I didn't really know what was going to happen. I just knew that's all I've ever done is real estate. So when I saw this model, I was like, it's just going to be a good fit, and it's been better than what I thought. Last thing I'd like to close with is, if there's anybody out there that Trisha's called you, or I've called you, or anybody in EXP has called you, that's a compliment. They're complimenting you because they want to share something that they're excited about that's changing their lives. All I ask people is to be curious. Just be curious and find out, why are we there's over 1,000 people a week moving over to EXP, and it's not a good fit. It may not be a good fit for you, so it's no pressure. But why not find out what it's about? People are surprised that when they find out that we have group health insurance and express offers where we have investors that pay cash for properties, and the list just goes on and on. All the free coaching and training. When people do their due diligence, a lot will find out, it is a good fit either now or down the road. So just be open, always be curious, because when I ask people what's their biggest regret, any EXP person, I'll say, what's your biggest mistake that you made when you came over to EXP? When you came over, what's the biggest mistake that you made? And 99% always say, not coming over soon enough.
Yep.
Taking 6 months or 2 years to really look at it, because I want to look at it, but I'm busy, so they don't really look at it. And that's most people's regret.
It is. It'll change your life. Just have conversations. That's what it is. Right, Andre?
Yeah. You get to work with people like Trisha and all the other great people that we have in our organization. It's pretty awesome.
It is pretty awesome. Thanks for being here with me today, Andre.
Yeah, my pleasure. We'll see you in Dallas.
You definitely will. You guys have a great day.
All right, Trisha.
Bye.
Bye.